Now, this issue isn't really an issue per se, which is why it's the first one on my list. It's pretty trivial, but it's something that always interests me. Usually when it comes to superheroes, um, their powers or whatever ability or skill they have, or uh, usually translates or I should say connects uh, with their character and whatnot. Like Iron Man. Uh, he Tony Stark obviously likes race cars and kind of like being like Daredevil type of thing, and he built the Iron Man based. And he took the colors like based on a hot rod. And you have Captain America who is who wanted to be a soldier and who obviously has a lot of patriotism for his country and whatnot, a very American spirit. And so, giving him a patriotic costume and a obviously super patriotic shield, and just made sense. Bruce Banner as as the Hulk. The whole point with that is that Bruce is trying to control his demons and whatnot, and and he's being hunted by the government or whoever, and that demon is basically the Hulk is basically the representation of that demon, of that like rage and of not being able to to like trust anyone and just being like stuck there and whatnot. So that makes sense for that. But again, there are some superheroes that don't their powers don't really connect with their character. Like let's just do a compare and contrast type of thing. Batman. Okay, Batman has no superpowers. So, yeah. But the reason why he dresses as a bat is because bats were things that was the thing that he was terrified as a child, and he uses that fear of bats as a weapon. So he basically used it as a spirit animal. So he has no superpowers to connect with his batness, but he's using his psychological background and constructed it into a suit. So basically, and that's the deal with that. But then you have someone like Spider-Man. Now, yeah, Peter Parker is basically a young teenager, uh, like goofy, intelligent, uh, awkward, especially around girls. Basically, you're just your typical, 16, 17-year-old kid who just happens to be, I don't know, a genius level intellect, but at least kind of smart, in some areas. And then he got bitten by a radioactive spider. But now, of everything that I have said, what does a spider specifically have to do with Peter Parker? Like, let's say that Peter Parker got bitten by some other radioactive something. Like, let's say if Peter Parker got bitten by a radioactive wasp, right? Now, what would really change? Peter Parker is still Peter Parker. Even with like, I mean, obviously the big thing with Spider-Man is the whole web sling thing. That's kind of like the trademark thing, you know. Superman flies, Batman has batarangs, you know. Thor has hammer, Captain America has shield, Spider-Man has web swinging. They're kind of like the things that you first associate. Goku has the Kamehameha wave, whatever. But but as the core of Peter Parker's character, he doesn't change at all. So it really doesn't technically or matter as far as his character what set of powers you give Peter Parker. You can give him a radioactive wasp, but like I said, you can give him a radioactive ant, anything, and Peter Parker will still be Peter Parker regardless of what he has, because it doesn't connect to him at all. It's, I mean, not all of them are like that. Peter Parker is pretty much the only one that I can think of that where his powers do not really connect with who Peter Parker is. I mean, a lot of superheroes' abilities connect with him and whatnot. It's I can't really think of anything. That's probably what makes Peter Parker unique to me, is that he's just the only one that his superpowers do not define his character, whereas someone like Iron Man and Batman, the Hulk, how they got, who they are and what they can do defines their character, or I should say their character defines that. Bruce Wayne anger issues eventually manifested into the Hulk. Batman uses the biosphere against his enemies. Iron Man, Peter Parker is pretty much the only one where you can take out the whole spider thing and replace it with any other creature or insect in the world, and nothing would really change aside from, of course, superpowers and aesthetics, but that's it. And like I said, it's a trivial issue, which is why it's the first one I that jumped up, but I felt like I needed to at least address that, as trivial as it is.